What's up? So, today I'm recording a little video about letting go of, specifically in my case, letting go of my expectations specifically for me, I've been learning to let go of my expectations and what I thought I wanted for myself in terms of like my career, my relationship, friendships, living situation, everything. So yeah, that's the gist of this video today, and I hope I'm able to stay a bit more on track and be a bit more structured. So I just want to say, one, the sun is barely even out. It's winter right now, but the light is going down. It's becoming lesser and lesser. So I do have a light over there, so I'm gonna turn that on in a bit. But if the quality starts changing of the video, I apologize. I will try to keep it.
Girl, what the fuck is you?
What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I'll just, you get what I'm trying to say. Oh, the other thing I was going to say is, instead of doing, if you watched my first video, which you should watch my first video, I'm reusing. Reduce, reuse, recycle. I'm recycling, the idea of post-grad diaries because I don't really see like longevity in that. I don't have to explain all that. I'm scrapping that and we're starting fresh with notes to self. This is kind of gonna be like a podcast style advice, I don't know, video diary, whatever. What to expect from this series is just like advice that I would give to myself, and therefore that I feel like could possibly benefit others as well. And so with that said, me making these videos is not only for my benefit but for your benefit as well. So if you do find that these videos help you in some way, this series helps you in some way, then feel free to follow along, make suggestions, comment like what topics you'd want me to talk about. Like the video, obviously. And yeah, I will keep these videos coming because I like to give advice. Not only that, but I'm always like recording like little video diaries on my Snapchat. And so why not just share some of those thoughts with YouTube? So yeah, notes to self. This is the first episode, and it's about letting go and letting God and accepting that you don't always know what's best for yourself. So just trust that the universe and God does, and redirection is protection. And yeah, it's okay to pivot, it's okay to adjust, it's okay to change your mind, all that good stuff. Yeah. Okay, so first I'll just talk about what I'm currently experiencing and coming to terms with, which is my living situation. I moved home after university, which was not my plan. Like 3 years ago, if you asked me, like, oh, do you think you'd move back home with your family after you're done school, blah, 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 I would have told you no. I feel like my heart's desire is to be living at least like on my own, if not with like a roommate or something. But I don't know, I just think that proximity helped my relationship with my family and my relationship with myself. So for that reason, I obviously want my own space. And so yeah, that's why I just didn't really see me coming back to live with my family. I didn't have any concrete plans of that. Even like leading up to me leaving my apartment with my roommates and my friends, I like didn't really pack until the last day. Like I was so last minute with everything because I was not accepting the fact that it was happening. And like deep down I knew it's what I didn't want for myself, but I had to let go of that because sorry. Yeah, as I was saying, I had to let go of the thought, the desire, the the desire to, I had to let go of my expectation for my living situation and where I thought I was going to be living and who I thought I was going to be living with. I had to let go of that and realize that I had to let go of that. I had to let go of that and accept the fact that I was making a decision for the greater good in terms of like my long term. I have this quote on my one of my lock screens and it says short term, I think it's on my phone. 1 second, please, because it's just perfect. Yeah, it's right here. Short term uncomfortability for long term peace. And so, yeah, that is something that I just have to like remind myself. You know, when I get frustrated about where I'm currently at and my current situation and what it had to be, because yes, I had a choice, but it was like my choices were to continue living paycheck to paycheck and not being able to like afford the things that I really want and working a job and all the money that I'm making going straight to my bills. Like it's just, I feel like I'm not seeing like the profits of my labor and stuff like that. So it was either, you know, continue going down that path or take a step back from everything, as uncomfortable and weird and like new it will be, because I haven't not had a job since I was like 15. Like I've been working for a long time, and so to come home, not have a job, it's a completely new area to me, so I don't have like my friends, like I don't really have a social circle here, so it's just like to kind of like restart and take that step back in order to then be able to go 10 steps forward. It's a lot to digest and accept. I know that it's going to be worth it. And as the months go by, it does, you know, I'm starting to realize that I made a good decision. I made a smart decision. And it's hard. It is hard to be away from like my friends and my boyfriend and stuff like that, more job opportunities even, but I think that I'm being pushed in the direction that I need to go, and so that's why I need to let go of the expectations that I had for myself, because I don't know what is like, I there's no way for me to know exactly what is best for me. So just because I'm thinking something has to go this way doesn't mean that that's the right way or the best way. So yeah, I'm just learning to let go and let God. That's a big thing. That is starting to become more apparent to me too, is that the areas that I don't know or that I'm unsure of, the paths that I'm unsure of, or that are harder, more difficult to get through, and that I'd want to avoid for the sake of comfort and all that, those are paths that God is walking me down and walking with me and has paved for me. And so I'm just learning to I'm just starting to realize that, honestly, and that is making it easier to let go. Another area of my life that I'm learning to let go of my expectations for, or not even learning to, but like getting comfortable with letting go of my expectations for, would be like my career. Whenever people ask me like, oh, what do you want to do, what kind of jobs are you looking for, because I'm not unemployed anymore, guys. Isn't that exciting? I don't know what kind of hands those were. Yeah, I'm not unemployed anymore. I haven't really told too many people. Like my mom doesn't even know at this moment. Sorry. Yeah, when it comes to my career, I'm just learning. Like I've realized that, as crazy as it sounds, I don't want to work hard. You need to leave. And I feel like it's not crazy, but it sounds bad for some reason to say that. Like you're supposed to work hard, and the harder you work, the more money you make, and da da da. Like, yeah, but like no. One thing I will say is that I feel like us as humans, generally speaking, should not have to work so hard to live, not just survive, like live. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't want to get into it, but me personally, I don't have any desire to be working a 9 to 5 or a 6 to 12. Like, I just don't want to be working for someone else's dream, someone else's company. I've never enjoyed it. Like, I always get to a point in all my jobs where I'm like, okay, it's another day at work. It's another day in the rat race. It's another day of this repetitive task or this repetitive, like, I don't know. I kind of start to not go insane, but like it feels like it, honestly. And I don't know. I just lose the passion when I am doing like your typical labor job, if that makes sense. And I feel like, me moving home, I was working as a sales associate, but I wasn't able to transfer my job when I came home, so I became unemployed. Haven't been able to find a job since, aside from the job that I'm working now, which is remote, by the way, so I don't have to go in anywhere. But yeah, I became unemployed. I now work from home, so I'm home a lot. I have a lot more free time. I'm not in school anymore. I'm finished school, graduated. I don't have like many distractions here because I don't have like much of a I don't have a social life here. I feel like I'm hesitating to say that because it sounds bad, but I don't like I don't. And so I feel like all these factors have just kind of been pushing me to just try and do YouTube, do the things that I have been wanting to do, and just hesitant and too busy, too occupied to do it. So, yeah, my living situation and my career path are two things that I've had to accept the pivot on. And yeah, except that I may have thought things would go one way, but it turns out that another way is better and more aligned with my goals for myself long term. And yeah, like I've had to pivot in my career path many times. Like when I first got into university, when I first started applying for university, I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to go to nursing school, be in the healthcare field. I had a completely different outlook and expectation of where I would be and what my university career would look like, where I was going to go for university. All of that was completely different to how it ended up panning out. And honestly, I don't regret not making it into the nursing program. I know that it happened for a reason, and I don't think I would have been as fulfilled if I had gone down that path. Especially now with what I hear about the healthcare field and how hard it is for nurses and doctors, and not all of them. Some of them have a breeze of a career, but sometimes you don't get that lucky, or you don't get that privilege. And yeah, I just know that it happened for a reason. And reflecting on how many times I've had to pivot and change my plans for my career and where I see myself and what I see myself doing, as many times as it has shifted and changed, it's always worked out. I've always been taken care of. I've always been okay. And it's just led me to here, this moment, where I am more confident in this path that I am choosing to take now, because it feels like all arrows are pointing in this direction. No matter how hard I've been trying to get a 9 to 5 kind of job, as of late, I've only been able to land a like non-traditional remote job that has super flexible hours, and I'm so grateful for it because since it's remote, I can still move around and travel, and I don't have to be settled or stuck in one place. And it gives me more free time to explore my creative endeavors. So, yeah, I just think that in hindsight, I like knowing all this and knowing that I've tried and it hasn't worked out the way that I thought it would. It just gives me more peace and comfort in taking this path and accepting that this is the way it's meant to be. And now, a big thing, a big aspect, a huge aspect of my life that I have learned to let go of my expectations for of, I don't know, that sentence did not come out right, but when it comes to relationships, I have learned to let go of a lot of my expectations and to let go of the kind of man that I thought I wanted to be with, that I thought I saw myself with, that I thought, this is as good as it's gonna get. Yeah, I've had to, not had to, what I'm trying to say is, I have some notes for the video and I think I wrote it really well, so I'm just gonna read off of what is here. So, as for my relationships and who I saw myself ending up with, and the type of guy that I wanted to be with, and that I was so fixated on, I let go of that. And once I did, the man that I truly desired deep down finally crossed paths with me, and we finally met, and now we're dating. But yeah, what I have written here is deep down, I always knew what I wanted, and it didn't really align with what I would seek after and therefore what I would attract. I rejected the idea of there being someone out there that I wouldn't have to settle for. And I also feel like the area that I grew up in, like demographics wise, I feel like that also had an impact on the type of guy that I was determined to see myself with. And I say determined because, as sad as it sounds, I feel like there was this part of me that wanted to prove to myself and to other people that just because I look the way that I do, just because I look like this, Black alert, doesn't mean that I can't be with someone who looks like that, who looks like that. If you get what I'm saying. Like, I just felt like there was something to prove, and I could do that through my relationship and my partner and who I ended up with. It's sad, however, it shows me, the way that everything played out, it shows me that God truly knew my heart and the kind of love that I wanted for myself and deserve and am able to give to other people. And so I feel like it wasn't until I let go of what I thought I wanted and what I thought I deserved and what I thought would be good for me and what I thought would prove my worth to other people, when I let go of all that, he finally allowed my path to cross with the man that I'm with now. And the man that I'm with now is everything I could have asked for and more. I still can't believe that, like, there has been someone out there like that, and I just had no idea. And I don't know, I'm just so grateful to have him in my life. And it just makes every experience, every cycle, every toxic relationship, everything that I went through and had to grow from before he came into my life, it was all worth it. It was all worth it. And so, yeah, just a better way to summarize all that. What I have written here, once again, that's why I keep looking down, sorry. Once I let go of my expectations and what I thought I wanted, God showed me that He knew exactly what I was missing. That's it. And honestly, the same goes for my friendships. There's certain people and groups that I, like growing up, I so desperately wanted to be a part of. And, I would try to mold myself and mask certain parts of myself to fit in. And, you know how it is when you're in elementary school and high school. And yeah, I just, when it came to friendships, as I got older, I started to realize that I was surrounding myself with people that I didn't truly align with, at least long term. Like, long term, our goals weren't the same, our paths weren't going in the same direction, different hobbies, interests. It's just like we couldn't fully mesh. And once again, time revealed that there is a reason for that. And that reason being, I just was not meant to grow with certain people, and we just were not aligned like that long term. Like, we were aligned for that period of our lives that we spent together, but once that time period served its purpose, and I learned what I needed to learn from them, and they learned, vice versa. We had our experiences, we had our fun, we had our not so fun moments, and once those connections to friends, acquaintances, whatever you want to call them, once I was just in a different environment, that wasn't my childhood town, and you know a very close-knit community that I knew all my life. Once I branched out and realized that there's so much more out there, there's so many more people out there, obviously, but once I really saw it for myself and experienced it for myself, I realized that I was always better off without them. Like, I was always better off without the friend groups and the friends and the people that I thought I wanted to be involved with, and I was just better off without them. And the hindsight is 2020. There's a reason that I was never fully accepted, at least in my eyes. I felt like I was never fully accepted in some friend groups and situations, whatever. And I've come to terms with that. Like, I've found peace with that. I'm grateful for that, because I'd be a completely different person if I was roped into their kind of lifestyle and all those things. I started to find my people that align with my goals, my dreams, my aspirations, the lifestyle that I live and that I want to live. I've just found my people. I found my friends, my community, my safe space, my social space where I don't have to try so hard to fit in. I don't have to try so hard to be accepted, because I just am. And we see each other, and we love each other for who we are. And I'm so glad that I wasn't able to settle in terms of my friendships, in terms of my career, in terms of everything that I've been talking about in this video. And every pivot, every change, every adjustment that I've had to make, it has been for my greater good. And so, yeah, I'm okay with certain things not working out. I'm okay with it, because I know that long term it was just never meant to be. I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit distracted with this video, but all in all, I feel like the message is pretty clear in this one. Letting go, letting God, accepting the pivot, accepting change. Those are all things that I'm practicing, and that I'm learning to appreciate, or like to find appreciation in the change and in the pivot and in everything. And yeah, I'm learning to surrender. That's the word. That's a good word too that I should add. Learning to surrender to the unknown, and to have faith in God and His plans for me, because I don't know them in detail. I don't. I have ideas, but as life has proven to me, they're not like the life that I see for myself and the way that I see things going. It's not always going to work out in that way. And so that is something that I'm trying to I'm practicing accepting. I'm practicing letting go. I'm practicing the idea of just letting them, let them, like that's those two words, let them. That's something that I also have on my lock screen to just remind myself, like, just let things be. Let people do what they want to do. Let them say what they want to say. Let them judge. Let them talk. Like, just let them. You can't control everything. And if you could, that would be so fucking stressful. Like, just fuck that.
Right.
There's peace in letting go. There's a lot of peace in letting go. And so this is my note to self, and my note to you, whoever's watching this. Practice letting go. It won't hurt. It won't hurt to try and let go of certain expectations that are like debilitating or holding you back, or just not is conducive. Like, I'm hearing conducive, I don't know if that's the proper word in this context, but just letting go of things that are not conducive to your greater good. To close out this video, I'll leave you with a couple more things that I am learning to let go of that maybe you can relate to. And yeah, if you can relate to anything that I've shared, if anything resonates or speaks to you, I would love to know in the comments. So feel free to share whatever it is that got you to this point of the video. But yeah, some other things that I'm learning to let go of in my life would be like my perfectionism. At least like what I wrote down is like destructive perfectionism. And so what I mean by that is all things are good, not all things, but most things are good in moderation. Excuse my nephew. But I feel like all things are good in moderation. And so my perfectionism is good in some cases, but when it becomes destructive in the sense that, I don't post my content because I feel like it's not good enough, or I feel like I could have said this better, or I could have spoken more eloquently, or whatever the case may be, I start to kind of like self sabotage, and it's not like it's destructive to my goals, my plans for myself, what I want to achieve. Like it's not productive. It's destructive. And so that's something that I'm learning to let go of, is that need for things to be perfect before I can share it with the world, before I can share it with anybody, before I can allow myself to be seen. I need to be perfect. Like, no. Even like with getting ready today, like I tried to do as little as possible. Obviously it's good to still try, but you don't have to try too hard. You really don't. And so I'm just learning to find that balance when it comes to my perfectionism. Another thing I'm learning to let go of is the urge to be understood. This ties into like another video that I'll probably make about like trying to crash out less. Because I just feel like I really need to learn how to save my energy for better things and for people who are more deserving of it. Like, there's some people out there who will just not see things the way that you do, who will be committed to misunderstanding you, who just aren't able to share your perspective on certain things. And like, that is completely okay. That is normal. You're not going to have everyone agree with you ever. And so I just feel like there were a lot of situations in the past year, like in 2024, where I felt misunderstood, and I would like verbally crash out because of that. And just the thought of like expending that energy to people who in the end still won't understand you, or still didn't understand me, it just felt like a waste of energy. It rarely felt productive. It rarely felt like it helped the situation. It rarely made me feel better. And so sometimes it's just better to be misunderstood. It's better to leave things up in the air. It's better to just let them and let them think what they want to think about you, about the situation, about whatever. And that is something that I am actively practicing, as I've said. Yeah, just letting go of that urge to be understood. Not everyone is going to understand. And I just have to kind of shift my perspective, I think, and be more grateful for those who do understand me, because there are people in my life who are very understanding of almost everything that I go through, if not everything that I go through. And so instead of focusing on strangers and people in my life who don't show me that same energy because they just simply can't, or because they're just different, and like that's fine, that's okay. to each their own. Yeah, I'm just learning to shift my perspective and just appreciate who does understand me and also appreciate who doesn't, and just let them be. Just let them. And the last thing that I'm learning to let go of or like detach from is the expectation that like I'll find me in other people. That's a quote that I saw. It was worded differently, but essentially said the same thing. And it really stuck with me because I realized that I would often do that and end up getting hurt in the process or because of it. Yeah, I realized that I would have such like high expectations for other people, and those high expectations would be based on how I would act in the situation, or how, yeah, how I would act in the situation, how I would perceive things, whatever. And so, because I'm thinking, oh, well, I would respond this way, so why aren't they? Or, I would do it this way, so why aren't they? That would cause a lot of avoidable turmoil and like emotional turmoil on my end. Like, I would always end up feeling disappointed in the other person because they didn't meet my expectations, but sometimes those expectations weren't fair to be placing on other people because they're not me. And so there's no like definite reason for me to believe that they would have reacted in this way or they would have responded in this way, because just because I would approach a situation like that doesn't mean that everyone else has to. Everyone is their own individual, and as like cocky as it sounds, there's no one out there that's like me, and vice versa. Like, there's no one out there like you. And so, yeah, I hope, through me passing along this quote, this message, maybe that'll help someone, maybe that'll help you recognize this within yourself and recognize that, oh, maybe I also need to detach from the idea that I will find me in other people. But yeah, it started getting to a point where I was honestly giving away like too much power to other people because I had so much faith and optimism in them and in the idea that they would operate like me, and that blind faith would let me down a lot. And when I was down, I would be down bad. And so I say I gave away my power to these people because, in the grand scheme of things, they were in control of my emotions. Because as soon as they didn't respond in the way that I would have expected or that I would have myself, as soon as things didn't go according to the plan or the vision that I had in my head, I would crumble emotionally and I would feel some type of way. And so, yeah, I just feel like that wasn't fair to myself and to other people. And so I'm learning how to detach from that idea that other people will be like me and think like me and operate like me, because they just won't. And nobody's like me and nobody's like you. So, all that to say, let them, let go, let God, surrender, and just accept the unknown, accept change, accept that sometimes you'll have to pivot, find comfort in discomfort, because almost everything is temporary, and most of the time, temporary discomfort is totally worth long term peace, okay? Like, I strongly believe that. I'm still on my journey to peace, like ultimate peace and ultimate fulfillment. But I've come a long way, even since I posted my last video where I was a lot more uncomfortable in my situation than I am now, and in my circumstances than I am now. And I'm finding acceptance in where I'm at in my life, and with the choices that I've made, and with the changes that I've had to make, and the pivots that I've done. I'm accepting of all of it. I'm grateful for all of it because it has brought me here. It has led me here. And it has allowed me to be able to share this message with you. And yeah, hopefully this helps whoever's watching. Thank you for watching. If you've made it this far in the video, please give me a thumbs up. Comment down below if you could relate to anything that I said, if you were inspired by anything I said, just, whatever. If there's anything you'd like to say, drop it down below. I thank you for watching this video. Thank you for your support. I hope to see you next time. And yeah, let go and let God.